I think you gotta sit more forward too.
Welcome to the broadcast. I'm Pastor Natushka Voght. I'm so excited that you could join me on Let's Have the Conversation. I'm so happy to have two special guests with me today. They're going to tell us a lot about healing. It's how to heal your body naturally. I have special guest Stephanie Voght, and we also have Trish O'Connor. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for coming to join me today. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So, first question I'd like to ask you guys, if you could tell me a little bit about yourselves. I don't know who'd like to go first, but I'm excited to hear how this all started.
Well, I'm Stephanie. I was born and raised Christian in upstate New York.
Okay.
Always grew up in nature, loving the outdoors. I went to college at RIT. I was
Okay.
finishing up in my medical studies when my mother introduced me to acupuncture. And once it worked its wonders on me, I knew that that was my true calling. That's what I had to pursue. So that's when I attended Pacific College of Oriental Medicine for acupuncture and became an acupuncturist back in 2011.
Wonderful. And you, Trish?
I am a wife and a mom.
Okay.
I grew up in Great Falls, Montana,
Okay.
and at the base of the Rockies, where you kind of have to survive out there on the land. And through life and motherhood and everything, I had a lot of health problems and went through the whole pharmaceutical situation, and it kind of brought me towards nature. And I really found how that and Chinese medicine can actually heal the body. So, and it's kind of led me on this new endeavor that we're on with herbs.
Okay. And you're sharing it with other people. That is amazing. Okay. So, I have you here with a few questions that I'm sure our audience has a lot of questions for you, because especially the times that we're living in with health factors coming to such a rise for various reasons. Primarily currently is the pandemic, but we have people who have, that are challenged with cancer, arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, chronic pain, you name it. And everyone is always looking for a way to heal. Okay. Some take Western medicine as a direction. Others take natural medicine as a direction. Some combine the two. So we want you to explain to us the best way to heal our bodies on a level that we can understand. So, Stephanie, I understand that you're an acupuncturist. Can you explain to us what an acupuncturist is, rather than our own assumption of what it is?
Yes. So acupuncture is all about creating harmony with inside the body.
Okay.
So all the organs on the inside of the body have little pathways that come to the outside of the body. You can see my little mannequin here. All those little points, they're all a bunch of points all the way up and down the back, all the way to the fingers and toes.
Okay.
So we have all these points, over 400 points on the body.
Wow.
Yeah. So depending on your out of harmoniness, we need to locate what organs you need tonifying. And once we locate the organs that need tonifying, then we strengthen them through the acupuncture and get them stronger so they can perform their natural responsibilities, so-called. So in Chinese medicine, every organ has their own responsibilities. Like the spleen is very connected to the reproductive system, it's very connected to emotional health. It's also very connected to the digestive system, where in Western medicine, the spleen doesn't do much but help us make new blood. So it has a big, big role. And often I see a lot of people with disharmonies of the spleen.
Okay. So, wow, I didn't know that much about the spleen. I think I learned about some of it from you when you were explaining to me. And I came to understand the harmony of the body, which I didn't understand until you educated me on it and understanding. I've always believed in natural medicine. Growing up with West Indian parents, we deal with a lot of herbs, things they could pull from their backyard and make a tea in your bed. So and this is not to discredit Western medicine at all.
No, not at all.
People not to go to their doctors. It would be nice if both could work together. to reach
Absolutely.
a good balance. So this broadcast is not to tell people, oh, let me stop taking my psychotropic meds. And
Yeah, no.
no. Some things have to be tapered off. Some things need to
Yes.
stay on. So
Yes.
that is not what we're here. And we don't want you to think this is an alternative. It is also a choice. Sometimes people look at natural medicine as the last resort
Right.
or an alternative, but it
Like,
really
oh, I've
is.
tried everything else. Let's see if this will work.
Hey, I don't have a choice now. We don't
Yep.
want that to be that. We want that
Right.
to be one of the choices on, for
On the
lack of a better
forefront.
word,
Yes.
one of the choices on the shelf. You don't have to
Yep.
just, oh, I'll get to it later. That's not what we're looking for. So I understand you women have many talents, and I love to hear about women with many talents. So, and many gifts, and all of our gifts come from God, and how it unfolds varies for all of us. But the fact that we're able to share our gifts is the true blessing. So tell me about your gifts and talents, ladies, and how you were brought into natural medicine. Who would like to start? How about you, Trish?
So like I was saying before, I had my own struggles with even seizures. I had cluster migraines, and being a young mom at the time,
Right.
and with very young children, and a working husband all the time, I really didn't have any life because I was always so sick. I didn't get to enjoy my kids growing up. And of course, they didn't have their mom. So I really started to look outside of what my doctors were telling me, because I was not getting the answers that I was looking for, because
Okay.
things were not making sense. And once my seizures got so bad, I met this lady who started giving me acupuncture,
Okay.
and right away it started helping. My headaches were just dull. I wasn't having the seizures. I didn't have the brain fog anymore. And through that situation, she introduced me to an herb called moxa, and it is a very stinky herb, and we didn't like to use it in the house, but the benefits were amazing.
Okay.
And so over years of conversations, trying to be able to introduce this amazing herb to other people, her patients, and use it ourselves.
On a more consistent basis.
Yeah,
because it, in the original form, it's so hard because it's a dried herb. It's pressed into a cigar form, and then you burn it around the body. So it's very stinky. It's very messy, and a lot of patients don't have time to deal with that, especially in the wintertime. They can't just go outside and do it. So this was making it in an easier form for everybody to be able to use.
Okay, and it's called moxa.
Yes.
Or moxibustion, or the scientific name is Artemisia vulgaris is the herb.
Okay, and this treats it doesn't just treat seizures, it treats various concerns?
Yeah, it treats pain. Well, go ahead and explain moxa.
Okay, so moxa is a herb that they've used in Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years. And it was originally burned around parts of the body to help harmonize or bring into everything into balance again. Okay. So depending on the person and your ailment, you'd need it in a different spot. But so basically it's a very very moving herb. So it stops stagnation from forming. So let's say if you have an injury or any bruising that's starting, you put it on right away, and it's going to help the body really work through it and help send the medicinal properties in our blood there to heal it and take away the debris faster, so that we don't deal with that injury as long. So basically helps your body heal itself faster.
Right, which is part of what our body would have done if so many elements had not occurred, because we come equipped with all the elements, if not in our body, but in the earth also, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
So, okay, so this is how the two of you met. So now this moxa, I understand you guys put together. Tell me about the products that you have. I don't want to say what you did. I want to know how you did it and when it started.
Okay, so introducing the moxa and what an amazing herb it is, I started thinking, well, what if we put it with other things like pain relievers, such as arnica? There are other elements for inflammation, such as willow pine bark for back pain. So
Willow pine bark. Okay.
Bark. Yes, the
I
bark.
guess you don't
Yeah,
need
the
to know
bark.
what everything is, just as long as it works, right? No, I'm just-
Yeah. Right. So we just started doing our research and really kind of broke it down and started making all these different oils and kind of tested it on our family. And these oils that we were making were so beneficial, and they actually worked right away. Some of them just for inflammation and pain, and so it just kind of went from there. And because we use of the oils that we use, it's not stinky and it absorbs really nicely.
Okay.
So it's like therapy in a can.
So
Right, acupuncture in a can.
acupuncture in a can. Okay. And can you tell me, Stephanie, the name of one of your products and what it does, so we can get an idea?
So I think our most popular one is the Nature's Healer. Everybody loves this one. This one's great for pain.
I do.
For right, for stiffness. It's good for any muscle related injury. It's also really good to help any sort of bruising. So if you bruise easily, it really helps move that bruise along and heals up the body faster. There's so many things this is good for. We have a list of testimonials. So I have this one 93-year-old patient. She turns 93 tomorrow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
She absolutely loves Nature's Healer. She says she puts it on her hips every morning. She goes, and I know if I haven't, because my hip will tell me if I haven't put it on that morning. So she absolutely loves it. And then her grandson was actually in a little semi-accident where he kind of crushed his arm in between this machinery and the barn door.
Wow.
So he had excruciating pain. He's only 9 at the time. He ran over to the house crying, "Mom, my arm, my arm." So immediately she put the salve all on the arm. He could still move it good and everything. And they never even had to go to the ER, and it never even bruised. She couldn't even believe it. She couldn't even believe it. So there's so many like that. I have another farmer patient. He was working on a tractor using like a 40 pound tractor wrench. So pretty big. He wasn't wearing steel toe boots, and he accidentally slipped, and it came down. It landed on his toe. It's like slammed down on his toe because it slipped. Right. So he ran in the house and he put it on his toe. His wife's like, this is the very beginning now. His wife's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You think that's miracle salve?" He goes, "Well, she told me to try it." It never even bruised, and he couldn't even believe it.
Wow.
And he was hardly in any pain. It never even like stagnated to the point where it caused lasting pain on that situation.
And I have a testimony as well using the product, because I remember when you sent it to me at that time, I had just started developing chronic back pain to the point where I was not able to straighten my back and do like some basic things like gardening, which I enjoyed, which was supposed to be a relaxing thing for me.
Right.
It had to be like this challenge. And then, and you sent it to me, and I started putting it on my back. And I have to tell you that between that and the heating belt that I use and heating pad, I have to tell you, I was able to do gardening. I was able to move around. I wear it every day.
Nice.
When I don't wear it, I know it's there.
Yep.
I do. And this was in between, before the physical therapy went into place. And then once physical therapy went into place, I still used it, because I still, even though I was going to physical therapy, I came out with more pain,
Right?
So
you use it. They make you use a few different things you haven't used in a while.
Yes.
Yes.
And what I can say, between that physical therapy, I'm able to stand straight and do things that I couldn't do before. And I use it for my kids also. I know you have another product that is like exceptional. It's the headache.
Yes.
And what is this? What's the specific name?
Headache Miracle.
Headache Miracle. And it is.
Absolutely.
No, it is. Could you tell us a little bit about it, and then maybe give a testimony? I definitely have one.
Yes. So the Headache Miracle has the willow bark in it. So the Native Americans, we discovered through research, actually used to use it for migraines and for backache in a tea form. So that's what we did. We derived the oil from the willow bark, and then we added it to our Moxa and our nice little Nature's Healer combo. to make the headache salve. And we actually just got a testimonial from Portland, Oregon last week. And I'll quote it real quick because we don't have a whole lot of time. But he said, "No kidding, ... In 10 minutes, my headache was gone."
And that's
Gone,
the number.
he said.
10
It's
minutes.
gone. Yep, 10 minutes gone.
Yeah, it is amazing. And I have to say it is child friendly, because my son has these headaches he gets, you know, and I've never really believed in the pill. Let's drink a pill. Let's you know, let's drink more water, you know, and he kept having the headache. So I said, you know, why don't you put this on your head, you know, and he put it on the areas that was hurting. And 10 minutes, he came back, he said, it works. I'm like, well, I would hope so, right?
Right.
You know, I'm not giving you lotion, but you know, and it works. And it works when I have a headache, and very quickly. It's just amazing how quickly it works. So tell us a little bit about some of the other products that you have.
So one of our, I would say our best product is the Moxinex. Of course, I would screw it up right now. But it is a white pine salve, and apparently, in ancient times, they would take the pine needles from white pine trees and make a tea out of them, and they would alleviate a lot of the mucus in your lungs, and it stops you from coughing. It's kind of like Vicks, but better. And it doesn't have the horrible Vicksy smell. It kind of smells like a pine tree.
Yeah.
But very light. It's not overpowering.
Yes. No. So a lady that she was one of my first
guinea pigs.
At work, and she has COPD, and she's 72, and she coughs all the time. And of course, she deals with food. So that's embarrassing, especially now with the pandemic and whatnot. You don't want to cough in public.
It's illegal, right?
Yeah. So I gave her this as a gift last Christmas, and I asked her to use it and just kind of give me feedback. And she said, for the first time in years, I started sleeping. Because I'm not all night long, because I'm not up coughing all the time.
Right.
My coworkers actually had commented, "Wow, she's not coughing anymore," and she was very worried about the smell too. So she would, of course, go up to our coworkers and be like, "Do you smell anything?" You know, but they didn't, because it doesn't smell, but it does help. Yeah. My cousin, for instance, when all this COVID stuff started, she got very sick, and it was before all the testing was in place. And my grandma thought she was going to pass away one night, and she's a young lady. And my grandma said, "Oh, hold on, let me get this and put it on just to see what happened." And she was actually able to rest, stopped coughing. It did not go into full pneumonia, which we thought it was going to. And my grandmother uses this every day now because of that. And she, you know, she's an elderly lady and obviously scared of everything too. Right. And you can also put it on your nose, like Vicks, when you go out in public. It's an antiviral. Right. So there's a lot of benefits to that. That's one of my favorite products that we've come up with. So. Okay.
So, Stephanie, would you be able to tell me, like, where, because I have my own too. I just want to make sure, you know, I'm not just putting you guys on here just to be on here. I used it last night. You know, I have mine right here. Yes. And I used it because my nose was stuffed up, and then I heard my son coughing in the bedroom.
Get it on right away.
Yeah, I'm like, come here.
Move it.
Get this thing on both of us. So I slept well. So can you tell me, because I know when I received it from you, you gave me some instructions how to apply, because sometimes people have this idea where the treatment actually takes place, but it also takes place in other areas of the body that you would least expect. Can you explain that a little bit?
So using my acupuncture background, and you can revert to our website to see the different photos to follow for each different thing that you want to use it for. Okay. So with the Moxinex, it's very good to put it along the lung channel.
Right.
So the lung channel, it starts at the base of your thumb.
Right.
And it comes down along here a little bit. So you just rub it on along the side, basically here,
Right.
and you'll hit that point. So
Right.
good, about 3 inches there on the wrist,
Right.
and that helps the lung stuff.
Right.
But if you're feeling something in the chest, you can put it right on your chest, just like
Right.
the Vicks. If you get a little scratchy throat, put it
Yeah.
right on the throat, and it's a detox too, so it really helps. It takes it right away. Another note on the Moxnex, it's really good for cold sores.
Oh.
Like anybody that gets cold sores, you feel that little tingly sensation that it begins with. You put it on, no joke, it doesn't even form the blister. It totally moves it along before it even reaches the surface. If you catch it in time, totally takes it away. And actually, we had another situation. The lady, the husband that had the tumor on her head. On his head.
Yeah. This lady, she, I gave her a product, and her husband had a tumor or something. She couldn't really describe it to me. My take was
cyst-like.
Yeah,
like
a cyst. Yeah,
definitely between the bone and the skin. So it was protruding on the forehead.
Yeah, and she said that right after she put it on, they used it for about 2 weeks, and it turned pink and started disappearing. So yeah.
So I think the other thing too, if I may say, there has to be some kind of consistency, and you also have to believe that it works.
Yes, you definitely want to use it consistently. Yes.
Yeah, and you know, and I think even if the person that first tries it, because when I told my son we're going to put it right here, he's like, but my headache is here.
Right. Well, the headache one. So the headache one, there's a headache point right here on the meat in between the forefinger and your thumb.
Oh,
yeah. So that's the headache one. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can also definitely put on your temples, because that'll take it right inside your bloodstream there to the head.
Right.
You can put it right across the forehead, and if you have a tension headache, put it right on the back of the neck too.
Okay,
that'll really help.
Great. I mean, and you know, I'm not an acupuncturist, but I tried to explain it to him. I was like, Miss Stephanie said you got to put it here. That's where it's going to hit. You can put it here too, but this is what I remember.
Right. Good. You'll teach each other.
And he does. Now it's like, you know, whenever he feels that headache coming on, it goes. And I'll go back to him. I'm like, are you okay? He said, yeah, it's gone, you know, and it's, again, it's very child friendly. It's something I would recommend everyone to have, you know, because, you know, that you don't want to give your children things that they don't need. And I have to say, you've educated me so much, because even, you know, just the acupuncture in general with my younger son, who is 11. And I recall he had this thing, what do you call it in the throat again?
The plum pit cheek.
The plum pit cheek. He kept telling me, I feel like I have something in my throat, trouble swallowing, feeling like he wanted to throw up, you know, like this uneasiness. So I took him to the doctor, and she couldn't pinpoint what it was. At one point she said, maybe it's acid reflux, it may be something else. I'm going to put him on a temporary medication. He can't stay on it. So I remember that stood out.
Right.
Until he gets to the specialist. So now we get to the specialist. And this is where, when I'm saying that we don't want you to just rule out the doctor, because we had to have this test with the camera.
Right. Roll out all the bad, serious things first.
Absolutely. Right. And when they did the test with the camera, they saw sores around his intestine area. Mm-hmm. And they wanted to keep him on this medication. And again, I remembered what she said. Right. And then what happened, we got hit with the pandemic. So no going to the doctor.
Right.
I remember calling you, and you explained how to treat him with this, how to treat him. And can you just, you know, because for me, it's more than just the testimony. It's so much more, because it's my kids.
Right.
You know, if you could just educate people a little bit about what you said to do and how it had to do with stress for him.
Right. He definitely was stress related for him. So it really depends on the individual, but I have had people before that have had that experience with having something feeling like it's stuck in their throat. Right. And usually the patient's been diagnosed with acid reflux.
Yes.
I had this other lady, but she had no acid reflux. She had no indigestion, but yet she still had this feeling in her throat, and it would actually make her voice raspy.
Right.
So by treating the liver qi stagnation, basically by helping, so the liver is really its main responsibility is to keep chi moving through the body, or your natural, energy through your body, is to keep everything moving properly. So once you get the liver back on track so it can do its responsibility as it's supposed to, then it helps everything really with the flow of everything. So it was actually causing some stuff on his stomach, which was making, the sores and the such, because it was giving its leftovers sort of, so to speak, excess to the stomach, and it was coming up that way and kind of just hanging out there. And but when by resolving it, you help that go away.
When you did you directed me on what type of Chinese medicine to use, which was also very friendly.
Yes,
it wasn't too large. He's an easygoing kid as far as having to take things also, and we were very consistent. Every day that he was supposed to take it, how he was supposed to take it. And I remember the doctor saying, he said, it's like someone who was overtaking ibuprofen, which is something we didn't do here.
Right. So you knew that wasn't the cause.
Right. That wasn't the case, so doing this treatment, that feeling eventually left, because now he's letting me know the discomfort. And then you also helped us see that, what may have triggered it, like the stress factor, and it was wet. You described it as being wet and like almost
the dampness.
The dampness.
Right. Yes.
Exactly. So so when people are, I was fortunate to know you to go in that direction.
Right.
There are a lot of people that don't always know which direction to go.
Right.
They hear about natural healing, they hear about Chinese medicine, they hear about this. Should I go with my doctor? There's a lot of confusion. What advice would you give people? Because there's a lot of people sitting there not knowing what to do. What would you give people who may have asthma, high blood pressure, diabetes, different things? What would you recommend the steps to find their way to natural healing?
Well, if you've already had a distinguished, diagnosis from a medical doctor, then, and you've sought treatment through their remedies and it's not working, then definitely you'd like to seek the acupuncture out and see if that can help work for you to build your system up, to maybe wean you off those, anti-acid medications and such that don't always help people. And sometimes, you take it on a daily basis because it says you're supposed to, but does somebody need that every day?
Right.
I don't know. Right. So if you want to eliminate that and you want to go the natural route, is definitely find an acupuncturist in your area. Also, you can get on our website. You can go through and you can try to treat yourself via the points. So it's sort of like we say acupuncture in a can, because like you can do acupuncture with the needles. And by the way, I just wanted to show you guys, they're very, very thin, very, very tiny. You can fit about 28 of these in a hypodermic needle. So something that you go to the doctor. Can you see? You can see that?
Yes. Wow. Okay.
Very, very, very tiny. So it's like 2 pieces of hair they insert into the skin. Okay. You do it very quickly, so you don't feel you don't feel a pain, but you definitely feel a sensation, that connectivity of your body's natural energy connecting with that needle, sort of like a magnet.
Right.
So if you can get on our website and check it out and get the Nature's Healer, you can put that on your body and stimulate those points, similar to what I would do with a needle. You've heard of acupressure, where you knead the spot so you can, kind of invoke that point to do its job, basically, by stimulating it. So by putting the salve on, you can stimulate that point too, because it's got the moxa in it. So it goes back to the olden days where they used to burn the moxa around certain points to help the healing process and to help harmonize the body.
And what is the website?
And the website is salvesensations.com.
Salvesensations.com.
Yeah. And you'll see little pictures that have little models, so you can see under each salve on where to put it and whatnot. And of course, if you ever have like a specialty that we don't have a salve for yet, you can definitely give us an email and we can custom make you a salve or oils, specifically for you.
Okay. So the other thing I wanted to point out, because I was treated by acupuncture once before you treated me, and another time. The thing is, though, and this is what I feel, is that one time is not enough.
Yes, it's sort of like physical therapy. You come and get it done a few times.
Yes, sometimes you might not see everything you're supposed to see right away. So there needs to be some kind of consistency. I was under the misconception the first time I did, okay, one time, great,
Right.
everything's
Good.
good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's good. It's still.
No. Yep. It's like going and working out your muscles. You know, you got to work out your body. You got to build it stronger, because every time you get the acupuncture done, you're building your immunity. You're strengthening your whole system every time. So every time we're getting stronger and stronger.
Yes. And it takes, it's a commitment too. You have to make a decision and commit to it.
Yes.
I think sometimes people also think, and these are some of the things that I've experienced. Oh, okay, I'll just take this natural thing and it'll be over.
Right.
No, it's body's got to get in line with everything.
Yes.
It's, so I think people don't have to understand also, like, detoxing is essential.
Yes.
So now you're informing them to go see their doctor, find out what's going on, and then they can seek an acupuncturist or try some of the treatments that you have if they're not able to get an acupuncturist.
Absolutely.
What are some of the health advice you would give people to stay on track? Because there's a lot going on. We could go to an acupuncture, we can go to an herbalist, we can go to our doctor, but there's that terminology. You got to make some lifestyle changes. You're not always given that direction when you leave the doctor's office.
No.
And then when you go to the herbalist, there's a lot to change, So what would some of the things you could tell people to start with right now as beginning steps to wellness?
So like daily stuff, like definitely getting enough sleep, washing your hands adequately, especially when you're out in public, dressing appropriately for your climate. If you're going outside, it's cold out, wear a jacket, cover up the back of your neck. In Chinese medicine, when it's windy and cold, it's said that pathogens or sickness can enter through the back of the neck. So definitely very good to keep your neck covered when you're outside and it's cold and windy. Try eating, healthy foods, less processed, more, vegetables, cooked vegetables versus raw, nice root vegetables, yams, carrots, stuff like that. Let's see what else. Definitely the Moxinex, the Moxinex, having that in your back pocket. And we do sell very small ones too. So you have a little travel size. My aunt wears it all the time. She's a massage therapist. So whenever she goes out in public, she puts a little on the inside of her nose, puts it on her wrist, and she's good to go for the day.
Okay. And you were talking about the prices, because I also feel that your products are friendly in the cost.
Yes.
Sometimes natural medicine can become expensive.
Right.
So can you tell us a little
especially
bit?
Natural things these days. Unfortunately, natural things these days are almost more expensive than pharmaceuticals, when you have insurance covering it. So we have a 2-ounce size.
Okay.
And that's 15.
Okay.
Then we have a 1-ounce size.
Okay.
And that's 10.
Okay.
And then we have the travel size, which is half an ounce. That's 5.
Wow. Okay.
And then we have little sample sizes that we have as well. They're 3 milliliters, I think. Little tiny guys. And now we also have it in oil form, which we find to be a little more potent. Okay. It is really nice because, you think oil, you think salve, you think grease. Like, I don't want to put grease all over my body, but it's really nice. Myself, I don't like greasy things. I'll stay away from lotions that make my hands feel greasy for an extended period of time. I just don't like it. But if you can see here.
Okay.
I'm going to put a little oil on.
Okay. Okay.
And it really rubs in nice.
It doesn't stay greasy.
No, it doesn't stay greasy. See, you can see a little shine there, but it's really nice. In about a minute or two, you're not even going to feel that I've even put anything on there. Oh. And our salves do the same. They go on very nicely, very smooth. Right? You don't feel greasy after you put some on.
I don't even worry about like messing up the back of my shirt or anything like that, because once I put it on, it goes into the skin and all of that, and it doesn't stay. You're right.
Yes, it goes in very nice. And also, you were talking about things, being consistent with things. So definitely with the Nature's Healer, some patients it does work right away. Other patients, I do know, don't give up on it. Be consistent with it. do it for, daily for a good week. And I bet you're going to start to see a change.
Yeah, it
Because,
does. Yeah, for myself, it wasn't like the same day with the back. I said, you know what, I'm going to put this on every morning. I think for me, it took about a week, but I was so desperate to heal my back. I was like,
right.
I got
I'll
a
try
week.
anything.
I got a week.
Yeah.
In a week, it worked. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I would put it at night. So there needs to be consistency to see results. Yeah. I know people like fast things, but sometimes
Right.
fast things are not that valuable. It can actually be damaging.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So, so we have, so I understand also with acupuncture, when you're getting treatment, it can address, like you said, the seizures. What are some other things that the acupuncture addresses?
So it does. If you name it, it practically can probably treat it. So we have asthma,
Okay.
anxiety. We have stress related factors, depression, mental stability. I have multiple sclerosis patients.
Wow.
I have lots of arthritis. My specialty is probably pain of the joints.
Okay.
I was taught under and hold on. I can't think of the word right now. I was taught by a
orthopedic surgeon.
Yes, an orthopedic surgeon turned acupuncturist. So he really taught us to treat the joints, not necessarily thinking outside the meridians a little bit, but to treat the joint individually and the muscle specifically. So I'm very good at working on any sort of joint pain.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm reminded the Bible talks about, and I read it the other day, that our body is the temple of God. We're supposed to take care of it. And I think sometimes people think when they see that scripture, it's 1 Corinthians 6:19, they tend to think the spiritual aspect, but it's everything,
Mind, body, and spirit.
Mind, body, and spirit. You have to be balanced. Okay, so we've now looked at acupuncture. We looked at the creams, the oils, all these essentials. Are there any other suggestions you would make that people can stay healthy? Are there exercises or anything they can do now as they're getting ready?
Right. So there's two forms of Chinese exercise. One's called Tai Chi, and it's spelled Tai space CHI.
Okay.
So if you look up Tai Chi for beginners, I bet you can find anything, on YouTube or something like that. So then you can do it in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to be very fit. You don't even have to have good balance. You can sit there in a chair and do it. So it doesn't matter if you're not, not flexible. You just start with the upper body movements. So the Tai Chi is more like meditation in motion. So it's different forms where you're kind of honing the chi and you kind of do this. And you'll feel it. You'll feel the energy between your hands. And it's all about moving it through the body and circulating it through all those organs we were talking about. Then there's also Qigong. So Qigong is also another form of basically energy work. Qigong, I'll spell that for you quick. It's QI space GONG.
Okay.
So it's more targeted specifically for organs. So like if you have a lung issue, like asthma, you do the lung form. So there's certain motions that you do that target more of the lung organ of the body. And so you just do the necessary organs that you need to strengthen.
Okay.
And again, YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. For beginners, make sure you look for beginners because it can be a little intimidating when you see all this movement, but just take it easy. You'll get it. Believe me.
And there's no rush. There's
no rush. Exactly.
And while I'm listening to you explain this, I was reminded, I've dealt with a lot of people who, when they do go for natural medicine, the acupuncture, the exercises, things of that nature, they give up. Sometimes they give up too quickly,
Right.
I think because we've learned, a pill solves everything, and it really doesn't. Right. So what temporarily, yeah. And sometimes it can create other things.
Sometimes, unfortunately, there's more side effects than there are good effects, I guess. Yeah.
And so my thing is, I want people to understand they have to be able to take control of their health. So what does that, if you, from the position that you ladies are coming from and the treatments that you have and the natural elements, growing up in environments with the earth and understanding, how you have to eat, how you live, things like that, and you've given suggestions. If today was the first day someone watched this broadcast and they said to themselves, I got to do something, what would you suggest to them to take control of their health? What is the first thing that you would say to them coming from the perspective of what you're doing?
Well, I definitely say seeking out an acupuncturist if you have one in your area.
Okay.
But like besides drinking enough water, getting plenty of rest, eating, more whole foods versus the processed and the high preservative ones. If you can get into a routine of doing a little Tai Chi or Qigong, because I've been told before that Qigong, it's like exercise for your internal organs. So not only are you keeping, blood flow going through the whole body, but you're really helping tonify all your organs. And like I said before, by tonifying or strengthening your organs, you're going to strengthen your whole system at the same time. So that
and we don't want to wait until we've come to where it's so late.
Yeah, the sooner the better. Definitely, if the longer you've had an ailment, the more time it's going to take to get it back on track. But don't let that discourage you. But definitely, sooner the better. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll see results.
Yeah, and it has to start here.
Yes, positive thinking.
Positive thinking. Therefore, you'll move according to that. And I just like to add that it feels like a challenge at first, even when you have to change your diet, change how you do things. But if you look at it more like this is an investment I'm making in myself.
Right, exactly. For your future.
For your future.
Yes.
You could be putting years on your life. Like when they tell people, if you quit smoking now, you've just added 10 years to your life. The person does not understand how that's possible. But the fact that you made the decision changes the whole outcome.
Yes.
And, I have to tell you, it's amazing what you guys are doing. And I wanted people to know, because there's a lot of information out there. And sometimes some people don't read. Some people are more visual creatures, different things. Sometimes they need to hear it from people who actually had testimonies, the people that are making the products, and keeping your understanding that what you guys do is not about profit. It's about really healing people.
Yes.
It's a whole different ball game. So is there a nugget that you would leave for people? And first of all, I'd like to know your website again. Can you just share it with the audience?
It's salvesensations.com.
Okay. So if they go on and they go there, is there a way they can communicate with you if they have questions or anything of that nature? How would they do that?
We have an email.
You'll just be able to email us, and it'll come right to us, and we'll get right back to you as soon as we can.
Okay. So, is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to leave with the audience that you can think of?
Get on our website and order some stuff for yourself and for your friends and family. Give the gift. We like to say, give the gift of healing and healthy living.
Healing and healthy living.
Yes.
And that's what this is about, healing and healthy living. Yes. I would love to have you guys back on the show, because there's still, I understand you have more products.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
More things on the horizon.
What does the future look like for Trish and Stephanie? How does it look?
So, well, we actually just came out with, it's called Savvy Lady. It's a PMS and menopausal salve. So that, and it relieves all the elements of PMS, really, from back pain to headache to just that cramps, overall achy, awful feeling that you get. So that's our newest one. We haven't really put that out too much. The Happy Healer.
Did we talk about the Happy Healer?
We did not talk about the Happy Healer.
Yeah, let's talk about the Happy Healer real quick.
Okay, so we have an anti-anxiety and calming salve, which is also one of my favorites, because I am anxiety ridden, being a mom, and just the way I am made up, I am anxiety ridden. This really helps, and all you have to do is put it on your wrist and you'll feel just calmness, really. Sometimes if I can't sleep, I put it on the back of my neck, and
Okay.
it kind of helps just relax you a little bit. So that's my son who has Asperger's, who was also very anxiety ridden. This helps him just tremendously.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Also, I have another patient, 74. She puts it on. It helps her relax. She also puts it on before she goes to bed. And she says she can get up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom, come back to bed, and go right back to sleep. Where a lot of older people, it's harder for them to go back to sleep after they've gotten up and kind of awaken everything. But she says she can go right back to sleep if she's put that on in the night. So it definitely promotes good sleep too.
Right.
Okay. So
that is currently available. That is currently available.
Currently available.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So not only do you taught us about exercising, acupuncture, chronic pain, various elements that can help us with anxiety, migraines, seizures, asthma. You're also have stuff for menopause, which, like, I'm sure there's a lot of women. Me, you know. And I'm glad to hear about it in the PMS, because when one of my daughters, you know, with her, it was very difficult cycles, and you're under the misconception as a parent, well, my cycles are always so easy. You just assume your daughter's going to follow suit, but that is not the case. And when my daughter was younger, they had all these medications they wanted to give her, and she had not even fully gone through puberty. I could not. But then she also dealt with this pain. If this product had been available, or I even knew to go in that direction, there would have been a lot of less migraines, cramping, discomfort, lack of sleep, things of that nature. So it's amazing what you're doing, because there's a lot of people that deal with menopause also. They're looking for things all the time to get that relief, that relief that is not there, you know, and how much discomfort it creates. So I am in awe, you know, because not only do I buy the products, I'm in awe of the things that you've made, like things of great significance, like the happy. I have it right here, Happy Healer.
Yes.
Because with the anxiety and and this is heightened right now, like the level of what we're dealing with. You know, people don't know how to deal like this. So that you thought to make this product and it be available at this juncture. Is so good, essential. You know?
Absolutely.
So, ladies, I am very grateful that you have shared with us. You've directed people in which direction to go. Is there anything else you'd like to add that I may have missed, didn't ask, or something about your products?
We discussed everything. I think we did. Oh, we have a black walnut foot balm. I don't think we talked about that, but I have a farmer patient, 68 years old, and I don't know if you've ever heard of bag balm, but a lot of farmers that deal with cracked hands and feet, they'll use bag balm that they actually use on the udders of cows when they get chapped. So he's been a life user of bag balm for his cracked feet and hands, and he's totally onto our product now. He doesn't even use the bag balm anymore. Bag balm is very, very greasy. So he loves the black walnut.
Those cracks when it looks so painful.
And especially along the heels. So it really helps heal things up. And even
my husband. Yeah, he's actually the reason why he gave me the idea to make the salve, because he was using black walnut salve from someone else, and I was like, wow, I think I can do that. And it took a long time to get there, but you know, we definitely did.
Right. So, it takes time to make these products, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, it does. Well, the research, because you want to definitely make sure the herb does what it's supposed to do. Right. The conditions of the herbs, right down to the oils, putting everything together and then infusing it all, which can take 6 to really 12 months, depending on you know what you're trying to achieve. 6 weeks. Yeah,
to
sorry.
12, to 12 months. Yeah.
Okay. Well, ladies, I'm so grateful that you could join me on Let's Have the Conversation, because I did promise our viewers that we would touch every area that was essential to them, you know, their health, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, and you really hit that one on the nose. So thank you. I'm glad that you joined me. And best of luck with everything that you're doing, you know, and that you continue to evolve and continue to touch lives in this manner. We really do appreciate you. Take care.
Yes, thank you. You as well.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Broadcast. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.